Welcome to Giggle vs. the Maelstrom Arena, Round 1. What I'm showing here first is where it is in case you haven't been there. It's near the Two Rivers Way Shrine in northeastern Rothgar. If you've been there before, you can just teleport straight into it. But if not, you need to hoof it over from the Way Shrine, head into these ruins, and then go down the stairs. You're looking for the entrance to the arena itself, which is fairly obvious when you see it, because it looks like the Eye of Sauron. Once you reach the entrance, of course you want to jump right on in because nothing bad could ever happen inside a flaming vortex like that. Once you go in, what you're greeted with is an endgame class solo dungeon, which is something I haven't seen in any other games. It comes in 2 levels of difficulty, normal and veteran. Veteran is quite hard, but normal is doable without having any endgame gear already, as long as you've got a decent build and reasonably decent gear setup. Giggle's gear is pretty good. She made it herself. It's mostly purples. Her weapons are legendary class, which at VR16 she's using gold staves at level 14, so they're not quite legendary. What we saw there was the Way Shrine. You'll be visiting that many, many times in the course of getting through the Maelstrom Arena, especially early on. The nice part is it's a repeatable quest, so you can do it over and over and learn how to do it better. This is Giggle's 3rd run through. Fa Nui Hen is the quest giver. I've already picked it up, obviously, so you don't see the little icon over his name. But once you get it, you can go into the Maelstrom Arena here, and then jump into a fiery black hole, because after you jump into the Eye of Sauron, this is of course a great follow-up. That leads you into the Vale of the Surreal, which is the first stage out of 9 for the Maelstrom Arena. Each stage is broken up into multiple rounds, and the basic idea is in each round there'll be waves of mobs sent against you. You need to deal with them and with any mechanics which that particular stage sets against you. In this case, because it's the first stage, they keep things fairly simple. Basically, they're introducing the idea of mobs teleporting in, and they're giving you a chance to get used to the pressure of arena-style combat where you're not the one who gets to initiate the fight. Essentially, as soon as you step in here, you're going to be fighting at the mob's pace. Now, each round, you can delay that somewhat if you don't kill the final creature in the round. That'll pause the next round from happening. In normal mode, the mobs in here aren't too bad. They range between about 10,000 and 40,000 health, most of them. And as you can see, I'm doing 2.4k with a light attack, up to about 10k with the funnel health. So it takes between 1 to 4 or 5 attacks to take most of the mobs out. A big part of what you can see here, though, is learning to stay in motion, learning to gain situational awareness of what's going on. Clearly I'm missing that a little bit. There was a guy behind me attacking me and I didn't respond to him right away. But the nice thing is the mobs aren't doing so much damage that you can't survive making reasonable mistakes like that. The threshold for reasonable gets higher or lower depending on how you're looking at it as you go. Later stages, you're not allowed quite as much latitude. You can see here I'm actually making kind of a ton of mistakes as I go. I have a few powers that I'm not using to their fullest, and I'm also not being quite as reactive as I could be. One of the keys with the Maelstrom Arena, one of the parts I find fun, is each stage challenges you in different ways and asks you to look at the tools you have available to come up with the best answer to those challenges. So for instance, in this stage, I've got a couple of movement powers set because I want to stay in motion and stay away from the little red circles that are chasing me. Other stages require ranged interrupts or AoE damage. So you really want to kind of think about what the stage is challenging you with and how you can best meet that challenge. As an example of something I'm not doing well, though, one of the powers I have is called Merciless Resolve. And the idea with it is, if you do 4 light attacks, it morphs into Assassin's Will for 1 shot. And Assassin's Will do usually over 10k damage, sometimes up to 25k damage for me. So it's a huge attack by comparison to the other ones I have. The way I'm intending to use it is to mix it in with the funnel health. So it should be light attack, funnel health, light attack, funnel health. And I'm not getting that to happen very often. You're not seeing the number 2 power there morph into Assassin's Will. It's because it's a new build. And that's one of the challenging things is as you bring new powers in, trying to figure out how to use them. So now we're up to the boss round. So I've gotten to the final stage just by getting through all those little kind of scrub mobs. And Maxis the Many's mechanic, he finally has a unique one, is that he summons ads. They're just regular mobs, although they can do some significant damage. That fire breath really hurts if it tags you, so you want to stay out of it. If you leave the ads alive too long, though, he'll eventually resummon them, or he'll eventually absorb them and heal up. He also does a number of ground-based area effects. But you can see he's getting low on health already. He's down to 29%. And at this point, I'm able to kind of ignore his mechanic in normal mode. It's not possible for me to do that in veteran mode, but I've got him low enough that I'm able to switch over to my execute and just burn him right down. That makes the fight pretty easy. And in general, that's true that's why you want a lot of DPS. You get to the end of the round, and you get your chest of champions. Every round has one. And they've got rank 15 armor that's got some decent set bonuses to it. And that wraps up the round. All you need to do from there is hop into the next flaming black hole and move on to the next round.